Okay, let's talk sprint China. I'm slowly leaning into this Mario Kart racing here, folks. Now, technically, there is still DRS, is what I feel, but I think DRS is going to be faded out and Mario Kart racing is going to take over. The Chinese Grand Prix was interesting, but let's talk about sprint first. Sprint was interesting, a lot of yo yo racing, a lot of pass and repass. The pass and repass are extraordinary, but nobody's really realized how good it is yet. So in the sprint, they just call it yo-yo racing. Basically, it was Hamilton and Russell just at each other. That was fun to watch. Protege and the master, right? It's called the master. That's what you call him. The protege and the master just at each other. George gets a extraordinary start, takes the lead. Right behind him, Hamilton. No, I think it was somebody else. Then Hamilton just showed up out of nowhere. And lo and behold, before a few turns happen, like the second or third turn, already Hamilton is above George. George is clearly giving him a fight, and clearly Mercedes has got the biggest pace. But Ferrari did figure out their car. Ferrari has figured out very good aero. The engine seems reliable, but more than that, it's the aero. They know how to turn. That car can corner well. Each lap, there was one guy in front of the other. Lap 1, it was George. Lap 2, it was Hamilton. Lap 3, George. Lap 4, Hamilton. It was fun to watch. It's almost like we got too much entertainment. That's what happened. Yeah, so there was that. And Antonelli did some naughty things. He still needs to get a grip on when to brake and understand how big and wide the car is. He bumped into Hajar and a piece of debris flew out. Hajar has no filter. He has not been media trained, so he was not happy about it. He was a little frustrated and pissed. I think they spoke later and made up, but that revealed another bombshell. The Middle Eastern races are gone, which means Bahrain, which is after Japanese Grand Prix, is out. Obviously, Saudi Arabia is out. I think all the Middle East is gone. And so yeah, that's that. Next is anything interesting happened in the sprint? Not much. It was a sprint race. Yeah, Red Bull sucked. Red Bull has screwed up badly. We all had hope for Red Bull, but Max is just struggling on this thing. Struggling. But somehow the Racing Bulls again have figured it out. This time it was Lawson's turn. Last time it was Limblad. So Lawson has come to his own in this race, and he clearly um, has a better handle on it this time. But Racing Bulls is just better. That's what I mean. Clearly, Racing Bulls was better than the master team, Red Bull. And Red Bull has to figure out a shit, man. Max is looking like a rookie, like a back market driver right now. If somebody started seeing F1 for the first time, they would genuinely think Max Verstappen is like some paid driver just driving a car just in a cocky driver. Because he was not good. He had a bad start again, didn't do well, tried to corner much, really struggled, and he came with 0 points, guys. Like 0 points in a sprint for Max Verstappen is insane. There's so many things that's wrong with it. The engine's got a huge amount of trouble. It's just not got the pace. The Adrian Newey, lack of Adrian Newey is clearly seen here. So Max struggling big time. Then, as we saw Max struggle, not much. Nobody really cares about Max now. I don't know why. It's insane that the cameras are not on Max. That is tough to watch. Kimi did naughty things. It bumped into Hajar, kind of messed up his race. Hajar weirdly is doing fine. He's holding up well with Max. He was not happy. They were frustrated. But regardless, they made up is what I hoped for. I didn't see much. So yeah, this was the end result of the sprint. Russell won, as I expected. Did not do well in the qualifying, by the way. They had some real trouble with qualifying, so he didn't qualify well. But yeah, he got a decent victory. The Ferraris were right next to him, by the way. So which means yeah, Ferraris have caught up somewhat. I still cannot believe the Italians have done it. But we'll see. Maybe this season there might be something. The Ferrari strategy is still shit. I don't see that working. But if they build a good car, strategy doesn't matter. They have world-class, extraordinary drivers. One guy, potential, he should have, 2023 should have been Leclerc's season. Ferrari screwed up big time and he didn't win that championship. And of course, the other one's the GOAT. So the drivers are extraordinary, no problem. If they figure out the car, they might be a serious challenge this season. We'll see. I don't believe it, but I might become a believer after seeing both the races. Okay, then it was Mercedes, Ferrari. Nice to see two Ferraris up in the podium. I'm personally not a Ferrari fan, but seeing Lewis felt nice. Lewis does love this track. I think China might be the next Brazil for Lewis because somehow he does crack on. I think he's the only one who's won consistently in China. No, Max did do it. Then it was Norris. There's a big story about Norris and Piastri, but I will hold it to the next race. Yeah, this is just a sprint. You should see what happened to the big one. Yeah, Norris and Piastri. Eesh. Yeah, they got some real trouble in their hands. Then it was Antonelli and Piastri. Piastri's not able to figure the shit out. Then Lawson and then Bevan. Bevan is above Max Verstappen. This is it. Why is a Haas above Red Bull? What is going on? Bevan is like a legend, dude. Yeah, Haas does not deserve Bevan, but hey, once they took out Steiner, I think that's all it needed was they're a very small team, maybe the smallest team ever in F1, one of the in modern F1 at least. And if they're coming into the points at all, it's crazy. So yeah, Bamman lost points, and then there was Max and Esteban. They didn't get any points. So sprint, boring sprint towards the end, but Russell won. Race time, baby. Let's talk Chinese Grand Prix. We've got stories, lots of stories. It was a fascinating race though. Italian Verstappen has done it, folks. At 19 years of age, youngest pole sitter ever in qualifying. It's Kimi Antonelli. This guy's done it. So I had my doubts about this kid. You know, I knew he was a very good driver. I felt like there's still like rough edges, but he's learning fast. The qualifying starts, and this dude's already on a hot lap. And Q1, Q2, not a problem. Q3, huge lead. Then Hamilton comes in and he's on there, really trying. The others try. Who's that? Leclerc tries as well. Turns out Hamilton does this and he comes in top. Then there's a bunch happens, rest goes everywhere. Now, what's interesting is Pierre Gasly outqualifies Verstappen. Not just Verstappen. Verstappen and Hadjar are 8th and 9th. Pierre Gasly in an Alpine is 7th. How? What world are we living in? Anyway, then the McLarens seem to have found a way. Oops, not really, but you know, McLarens have seemed to found a way in qualifying. Yeah, whatever, 5th and 6th. Oof, they're gonna regret getting. It might look good, but it's not. There are problems. Anyway, yeah, so 5th, 6th McLaren, Gasly, number 7th, Verstappen 8th, Hadjar 9th, and Baron, this kid, how is this dude just there? Haas is 10th. When is Haas consistently qualified? Ever. Anyway, that was that. Oh, wait, there was one more thing. Antonelli, qualified first. And Russell suddenly looks like Mercedes are not foolproof after all. Because out of nowhere, Russell's engine just stalls. He just has no power. And the pit lane or whatever, the engineers are like, no, it's fine. Everything looks fine. And he says, nope, it's not starting. There are issues. And then they go to the pits. Yeah, I forgot to say that. That was a tough one. Everybody got hope. You should see all these race reacting people. They seem to all have hope. But he comes out and Russell qualifies second. So yeah, the Mercedes is pretty good, and Russell is the Verstappen of the season. This man is Mr. Consistent. Yeah, he'll always be on the top step. No doubt about it. Going in the race, buddy. The race. Ooh, the race. No idea what I was going to expect. But this race was a tough one. Half the grid was out. It was insane. The race starts, and Albon is already in the pit lane. Apparently, Albon was supposed to start from the pit lane, and so we're waiting for that. The race starts, and what? The McLarens are missing. They're qualified, fine, right? Where are the McLarens? Norris has an engine issue. Gone! Okay, Piastri. Where's Piastri? He's got an engine issue too. Papaya rules, everybody. Anyway, both the McLarens the engines are bad. Merc engines pretty sus, don't you say? That rumor of Merc giving everybody else bad engines is looking more true. Wait, what? Great. Albon's not starting either. Albon's retired. 3 DNSs, the race has not even started. Wonderful. Piastri, both the races, Melbourne and China, did not finish, did not attend. Okay, I don't know. Piastri's just bad luck done. It's gone. Okay, fine. Race starts, everybody's starting, revving up. And here we go. Starts. Antonelli has an extraordinary, wonderful start, but the Ferrari boys, Ferraris have done this. Ferrari looks like they've nailed the start. They made this car that's really fast, so they've nailed the start. So Hamilton takes right next to Antonelli. It's Antonelli, Hamilton. Russell, by the way, did not qualify well because no, Russell qualified second. So it's Antonelli, Russell, Hamilton, Antonelli, Russell, Hamilton, and okay. Race starts. Antonelli right up front gets a great start, but the Ferraris have done it. Ferrari has an extraordinary start. He takes the lead right away, and then slowly Antonelli finds his pace because that car's got pace. It did come back on top. Now it's the Ferraris versus the Mercs. The Mercedes versus the Ferrari battles have started. This has not happened in a while, so this is fun to watch, like old good old times. They start racing. Everybody starts, and Antonelli is like far and wide, just clearing the space. Lots of he's got like a 1 or 2 second gap, and the Ferrari boys are right behind him, and they start fighting. Oh, the old Hamilton comes out. You would think Unk stopped. No. The animal that is Hamilton is right in there, and Leclerc is no slouch. This man has to win. So looks like Ferrari might have a better version of the Papaya rules. Anyway, so the two Ferraris start fighting immediately, and Hamilton's not going to give up. Hamilton needs this. So yeah, they start fighting, and Mr. Lucky Bastard Russell is right behind them, and Russell's just waiting for these two Ferrari goofballs to keep fighting. One of them to mess up and just through roast Russell. So they fight each lap. They're so good, by the way. They keep coming close. Hamilton second, Leclerc right behind him. Basically, Leclerc passes, Hamilton passes. Leclerc passes, Hamilton passes. While Antonelli is just cruising in the front, by the way. And then there were multiple times when late breaking mastery from both of these extraordinary races. I mean, if Leclerc was in any other team, he would have had a championship by now. The idea that people call him a good racing driver or a really good racing driver is insane. This man is championship material 101. Anyway, I'm glad to see some adults in the room. Hamilton and Leclerc battle each other like cats and dogs, but they do not even touch. I mean, mastery to an extent I cannot even understand. Both of them start. It goes great. And as expected, Russell finds a gap, and Russell's already third. It was Mercedes and Ferrari. It was Antonelli on top, Hamilton right next to him, and then was Leclerc, and then it was Russell. Russell's fourth, and they fight. And then finally, Russell takes, the cake and becomes third. And Leclerc's got this dirty little laugh. He was very happy fighting, apparently. He's like, that was a good fight. Whatever, dude. Keep doing stupid shit like this and watch the podium go away. That's what I would say. Anyway, so that's the race. It starts. Good race. Lots of battles. The battles were between the gods, not the others. Mercedes and Hamilton don't really fight. Merck's got that pace. So immediately Merck passes Hamilton. Not in a few laps. Not immediately, but yeah, that's what happens. Then there's Max and Hajar. Oh my god. Red Bull, come on. Red Bull has screwed this up so badly. They have an extraordinary driver in Hajar and obviously a god in Verstappen. And they have screwed up that car. I thought they had something going. I thought they'll be like a P3 team or a P4 team. They're worse than the midfield. Gasly outqualified them in an Alpine. Alpines, by the way, got the Merc engines this season. That makes a lot of sense. Give Gasly a good car and he'll find a way to put the car on the top 10. But that guy's also an extraordinary driver, been slept on. He'll never win a championship, but it's good to know that if you give him a good car, he'll find a way to put it on top 10. Anyway, so Gasly, Colapinto, above the Red Bulls. At one point, the Alpines were 4th and 5th. Colapinto was 2nd. I mean, that's insane. Nobody expects Colapinto to be anywhere, and he kept it. He didn't lead the lap, but he kept it. Kept a decent fight. Yeah, so Verstappen, terrible start. His turbos are not coming in. It's like this guy forgot how to drive. I think it's the car just not heating up. He did not, in the F1 game, you have to like hold the basically the brake and the clutch or something, and then it starts. You got to heat up the engines. Same thing. You got to do the heating up thing. And Max has got a bad start. Like 6, 7, 8 cars pass him. Hajar too, not that great. Hajar has a decent start, but Max is horrible. And Max is back all the way down now, and Hajar behind him. The rest of them pass, and there was a bunch of people passing. Nobody cared. This was the story here. And lo and behold, out of nowhere, Perez did some Perez things. He lunges. Cadillacs touch each other. Oh, at one point, the Cadillacs have such shit bodywork, by the way. I think it was Perez's car during qualifying, just his side panel just blew off and we could see the internal components. Cadillac is, for the group of people who've got a Super Bowl commercial, spent billions, they are trash. You'd think if any of those Super Bowl guys came to watch the F1 race, I mean, they would think the races happen the opposite way because, oh my god, Cadillac is shit. Yeah, so Perez touches Valtteri. It was only just a tiny peck. Just just a moment. Nothing happens, but yeah. Also, Bortoletto's gone. Yeah, Bortoletto and the Audi is gone. Same thing happened in the sprint. I think it was Hulkenberg that left. Right? So yeah, Audi's got to figure out his shit too. And yeah, the race goes on. Gasly and Colapinto are fifth and sixth. Okay, so it's Antonelli, Russell, Hamilton, Leclerc, Gasly, Colapinto. And Ocon, finally, some little growth in Ocon. Lawson's in there, Limblad's in there, Verstappen's in there, Sainz is in there, Bamman's in there. So yeah, they're really trying. Hulkenberg all the way down, but none of this is a story. The story is Alonso right now. It's Alonso is such a dedicated ride or die guy. That car is trash. Okay, it is vibrating like a goddamn jackhammer, and the man is just on it. Like, I felt sad for the guy. He's not supposed to be driving or being Alonso. Regardless, the car is trash. Stupid green jackhammer is so bad that Alonso at some points during the straights literally takes his hand out from the steering wheel and just presses the gas pedal, because if he keeps his hand in there and during the straights, the car is vibrating so bad that there's nobody can touch it, and he would lose his hands if he touches it. And also he waves bye to Perez when a Cadillac just passed Alonso in the Aston, and as Alonso just waves at Perez saying bye bye. Dude, what the hell? So yeah, Alonso is in hell right now, and this happens and Stroll just gives up as usual, or something happens, he's gone. I looked away from the race and next thing I know, Stroll is gone. And now, right before that, another stroke of bad luck for Red Bull and the sister team. Okay, so Verstappen pits because they had to pay. Everybody's in two-stop strategy. Right when Bortoletto crashed or something around that time, people are already pit. So some of them are already pit. I think it was Antonelli or somebody. And so some people were in fresher tires, but most people are in older tires. So right before Stroll crashes or something happens to it, DNFs, Verstappen and Lawson go in there and take a pit and they change their tires. And it looks like it's a decent move. And right as they come out, Stroll goes off the track. And now everybody's pitting. And they've lost that advantage, Because if everybody's pitting right after you pit, which it's almost like you did not pit, you pit, you change the tires, you come out, you get to a good position, but everybody's pitting. So right before you get into a good position, others started pitting and coming out, and now you're still in the below 10 position. And that was a bad luck. Regardless, yeah, Max just keeps doing Max things. Keeps fighting, keeps pushing, and now it's Behrman and Hajar. I think this happened some on the start of the race, or middle of the race. It doesn't matter. Behrman does a naughty thing. He keeps poking Hajar, and Hajar loses control of the spins. Poor Hajar. He spins. This is the second time. In the sprint also he had an issue with Antonelli, and now with Behrman. But Hajar being Hajar, he's got that strong will to keep going. So even though he spins, he gets the car back in and he moves forward. Limblad, by the way, not doing well. And Behrman takes a evasive maneuver, goes around Hajar, and he's above. Then I think Behrman has to give away the space. But this happened as Behrman was giving away the space, because apparently right before that again, so basically what happened was Behrman first kept nudging Hajar to sort of squeezed way, and Behrman got his way, and they said no, you give back that position or risk a penalty. Behrman gave back the position to Hajar. Then he kept nudging Hajar from the back, and Hajar spun, and Behrman went around him, and now Behrman's on top, and not on the points, but on top, and Hajar is gone, like all the way down. This was a sad situation. And I thought it was over for Hajar. This is one of those things where if I was playing the F1 game, I would just quit. You know, everybody's gone. I cannot see anybody on track. I see the telemetry, I mean the topographical map of the circuit, and the cars are just gone. They're just out, and it's Hajar's so far away. But he's just doing it. He's like the little engine that could. He's just chugging along. And as he chugs along, I think somebody screws up a little bit. And so he gets a little more pace, a little more pace. The Hajar story was interesting. It was this car which is clearly gone. Like, there's no way they're going to get into points. Slowly chugs up. And during the straights, he speeds up. During the corners, he slows. And he takes advantage of that little explosion of speed you get in the corner. So what happens is every time you corner, your battery charges a tiny amount. Not a lot, but a very tiny amount. And I think he takes advantage. And every time he goes in straight, he goes super fast. And somehow he gets small opportunities. So that was kind of this Hajar mentality, which is basically keep pushing. As long as you're in the race, you keep pushing. That's a common mentality for everybody, but it's nice to see Hajar has it too. And it's nice to see it in action, because the circuit looked horrible for Hajar. But it does end well, don't worry. Meanwhile, the Ferrari brothers keep fighting. These guys have not stopped fighting the entire race. It's one Ferrari it's Unk versus young guy, and it was crazy. So Ferrari, it's Antonelli on top, Hamilton right behind, and Russell on fourth, and Leclerc on third. Leclerc keeps pushing Hamilton. Hamilton keeps pushing Russell. They keep fighting, endless fights. And Russell, you should know, after the pits, is a little at the bottom. But he finds a way up. Russell just keeps waiting for them to fight, and Ferrari being Ferrari, they could have had a 3-4 podium. Like, basically, there could be two Ferraris on the podium, but that didn't happen. And Russell just pushed his way through and became second. Yeah, first he cleared Leclerc, then he cleared Hamilton. And as that's happening, Ocon did an Ocon thing. He went into Colapinto. That was a big punt, and that caused him trouble. This brings a small safety car. Oh, and around this time, the safety cars was how slowly Hajar gets into the points. Slowly he scrapes his way through. And you should have seen him. At one point, the grid looked like it was qualifying grid. The entire track looked like they were qualifying. The spread was just awful. Everybody were all over the place. Anyway, so that kept happening. And now if you take a look at the grid, half the grid is empty. Like, both the Astons are gone. One of the Audis are gone. Both the McLarens are gone, and one of the Williams is gone. So that's like a big chunk. It's almost half the grid completely gone. Half the grid is completely gone. So basically, whoever's fighting, or if they don't get good results with this advantage, I mean, there's no point even racing. So this was one of those races where half the grid gets destroyed and the backmarkers have a chance to get into the points. And if the backmarkers don't take advantage of this, they are going to regret it for the rest of the season. Because I've seen it happen time and again, and they don't take advantage. They think they'll play it safe because it's the starting of the year, and these points end up costing them. So yeah, and a good for them, they start fighting. The backmarkers are really trying hard. By the way, Hajar is already inside the mix now. He's found his way in, and he's already passed Alonso. He's already passed. Okay, Alonso had crashed. Hajar passes Alonso. Hajar passes both the McLarens. Hajar passes Ocon, and now he's in P9. Suddenly, when I see him, and Hajar, that's a good thing. You find him amongst the mix, he'll find a way to cut through. He's really talented that way. Very slowly, very meticulously. Nobody observed him, but he was there. And what? The Williams is on points. And guess who's in there? It's Sainz. This is the thing with race winners, you know. Sainz is a race winner. He knows exactly to get into the mentality to find a way to extract some value out of the car, you know. The Williams car is trash. It's not good. And Sainz, look at him, he's already in the points. So, oh, what the hell? Right below him is Colapinto. Wait, am I seeing this right? Holy shit, it is. Right below Sainz, Limblad, then Colapinto, and then, yeah, they race for a while. Limblad, not a good race this season. The Wonderkin seems to not have much this Grand Prix. So Sainz is in the points. Hajar is in the points. That was insane. There's no chance in hell Hajar would be in the points. And yeah, they're fighting, and oops, Max is gone. What? Suddenly, everything slows down for Max. Max is out. Now, insane. Like this is the place where Red Bull has to lock in. Historically, this is a place where Red Bull loses entirely everything because everybody relies on Max, and it's all on Hazard for Red Bull. So anyway, so Hazard's in the points, Science is in the points, and Colapinto is in the points now. It's insane. So Colapinto, out of nowhere, is in the points. And this made me think, where the hell is the other guy? Because where's Gasly? Did Gasly get out? What happened? And I scanned the grid, and Gasly's in the points. Looks like both the Alpines are in the points over here. And it's a crazy season, where a crazy race. It's Russell and Antonelli. Antonelli's on pole. He's the youngest pole sitter ever in history. And he's still leading. Russell's right behind him. Leclerc and Hamilton are giving a masterclass in side-by-side racing. I mean, this is one for the history books. This will be studied. I mean, if they're going to give us more of this, these are masterclasses in side-by-side racing. I have nothing else to say. Wonderful races. And Behrman is somehow trying to get into the points. Somehow is trying to escape his way. Behrman and Sainz are like two scrappy individuals. They find ways to get everything out of the car that they're in. So the race keeps going, and it ends with a lot of the good drivers in the points. It's very sad for Max Verstappen. He's gone. Half the grid is gone. If right now, if teams like Haas and Alpine do not take advantage, there's no point. But they do it, Somehow Haas is in the points, Alpine's in the points, Williams is in the points, all the back markers, RB's in the points. So all the back markers find their way in. That's that. So race ends with Antonelli. Antonelli does it. So he cannot believe it either. Everybody is wondering whether Toto made the right choice. I think Toto made the right choice. Does Antonelli have a lot more to learn? Was this a fluke? No, it was not a fluke. I mean, it was pure pace. Looks like if you give him a good car, he'll find a way to learn. Antonelli's learning. That's what I'm trying to say. Will he win this championship? No. He's not a threat to Russell in any way. Russell just easily fought back. He couldn't beat Antonelli in pace, so I give him that. But I don't see Antonelli in any way winning the championship this season. But the man's got it. He has proven, to me at least, that he's here to stay. But what's funny is in the podium, they got his name wrong. I think they called him Kimi Raikkonen, and he was wondering what happened. Anyway, it was a highly emotional moment. It's his second fucking season, and he's already won a race. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Russell, so the race ends with Antonelli first, Russell second. Hamilton is on the podium. Look at that. Hamilton's first podium in Ferrari. I never thought I'd see the day because Ferrari's trash and Hamilton is washed. But no, Hamilton did it. He's slowly proving me wrong. Hamilton's on the podium, Leclerc right behind him, naughty Leclerc. Both of them could have been up there if it wasn't for Leclerc fighting Hamilton. And Haas is fifth. How is Behrman fifth and Verstappen DNF'd? What the hell? What world am I living in? And Ocon is gone, by the way. Ocon is actually doing a very good job this season, but I think Behrman is just... whoa. Behrman is a 1 in a million... So this season, we have so many star drivers, There's Antonelli, who is just a gem, like a generational driver. Max Verstappen, a generational driver. Behrman clearly is slowly becoming a generational driver. Bortoletto is slowly becoming a generational driver. There are some genius drivers in this grid this season. We're missing. Limblad looks like he's also going to be something special. So the lineup is thus. The people in the points are Mercedes, Ferrari, Haas, and Alpine. Pierre Gasly. Give this man a good car, and he comes in sixth. Crazy. Lawson finally in the points, number 7. Lawson beat the rest of the... oh my god, I cannot believe the sister team is constantly winning again. Isaac Hadjar, like nobody expected him to do anything this race. I thought he was completely gone because of that spin with Behrman. Naughty Behrman. Behrman did find way up in the points, by the way. Hadjar in the points, number 8. That was good. And Sainz came in the points, gave some good needed points for Williams. Good for them. But this was not completely earned points. Williams did sort of luck up because of Sainz. Sainz is extremely good racing capabilities and racecraft. But Williams have to work on his stupid car. And Colapinto is on the points. Colapinto and Gasly did a good race. Not really sure whether it was the car that won them the race or their pure pace. For sure with Gasly, it's pure pace. Colapinto, it might be a little bit of luck. So yeah, that was that. The race was masterclass in wheel-to-wheel racing, side-by-side racing, given by two legends. Ferrari finally in the in the podium. Hamilton in the podium finally. And Antonelli has won the race in his second season. Russell is amazing too, but Antonelli has won the race in second season, and Racing Bulls have beat Red Bull. Red Bull is nowhere. It's insane what's going on. Also, Bam he keeps finding his way into the points. He's been on the points every single race until now. So Haas has finally found something to give them the points. It's kind of like the George Russell moment at Williams. When Williams got George Russell was the first person ever to get points in recent times for Williams. And I think that's what Bam is doing for Haas. And when Bam leaves Haas is going to be so disappointed. So Haas has built a decent car. I think they've always built decent cars. These are bad drivers. Gunther Steiner is out and I'm happy. That's all I want to say. And I'm very, very happy with the current Haas guys. I'm not a big fan of Haas, but seeing them in the points is making me giddy. Sad that Wheatley was out. He should have been up there. Very, very happy for Lawson. Lawson's a good talent. He just needs time. I think Lawson's going to be one of those racers who are very, very good, not really taken too seriously. He's going to be like a Gasly. He's a very good driver. Mild error in the start of his career won't be taken as seriously. He'll never win a championship. But he's always going to be one of those guys who are reliable and he'll get up there. He will never go back to Red Bull. I don't think he even wants to, but I can easily see him in an Alpine very soon. Or, well, that's the only other good team. Anyway, that was a race. It's absolutely crazy. There's so much more to go. I'll wait and see what happens in the season. Yeah, did I say the Middle East is cancelled? Yeah, Middle East is cancelled. Japan is the next race. We gotta wait and see what happens in Japan. It very much looks like Mercedes are going to take this season. They have got some issues for sure. It's getting slowly clear, and because of this mid-season break before the mid-season, I think Mercedes will finally get their comeuppance. For sure, Red Bull have to figure something out. Will Red Bull be in the points this season? Yeah, but I think they're going to be 6th best this season. They're not going to be that great. McLaren is a surprise upset. They're bad. I put my money on McLaren, Ferrari, and Mercedes figuring this shit out. I think the biggest threat to Mercedes is Ferrari, if Ferrari is locking in. And the next might be McLaren, even though McLaren has been trash. I think they're going to figure it out. And then it's going to be the force of nature that is Max Verstappen who'll claw his way out of hell with that stupid car and still manage to get into the points very soon. One of them will figure it out. That's what I feel. Yeah, Mercedes is going to win this championship. I think it's pretty much a signed, sealed and delivered thing. It's their championship to lose, for sure. So that was that. Hamilton's happy. Leclerc's happy. The fans love it. It's very clear that the fight and the battles of what F1 is made of. Max is not happy. He's bitching there in the corner, and it's just, drivers being drivers. They will bitch. I'm sure if Max got like a good car, he'll stop being a pain in the ass about it. He is in the Nürburgring on Saturday. I don't know much about GT racing, to be honest. It's just a mess. But yeah, Max did great, and he was very happy in the Nürburgring, back in the cars, which were pretty old school, where everything is controlled by him. I'll make another podcast on all the regulations and why things are the way they are and why Max is not happy. I can see why he's not happy. Anyway, so next, some news about F1. And boy, there are some news. So the moment the race was over, Red Bull was on DEFCON 9, whichever the bad DEFCONers. Max was pissed. So immediately they didn't do any of the Red Bulls did. Red Bull's a marketing company after all, but they did not do any of it. They didn't talk to anybody. They just ran away. Apparently they all packed on Max's jet and they were out. They were out to the home base just to figure out what's going on. And we got like footage of the car, from the top. Some rich Chinese billionaire took a picture of the car from top inside the paddock, and looks like Red Bull is heavy. I mean, that's what the speculation is. About 768 kgs is what the car should be, or somewhere around that. And Red Bull is really heavy, and Red Bull is the only team where there's a huge difference in the height of the drivers. Hajar is doing great because his height is pretty low, and the weight is not helping. I mean, the weight is kind of beneficial to him, and whereas Max is like, I think Max is like over 6 feet tall, and Haja is like 5'6" or 5'5" or something. So it's a big height difference, which means there's a lot of weight difference in the car. They gotta figure this out. Same thing with everybody else. Everybody's very heavy, apart from Alpine, apparently. Alpine is right below, right at the weight, and that's why they're doing good. So is Mercedes, they're also heavy. Everybody's heavy. So that was the news from China. That was the first bit of news we got on why the cars are bad. Then it looks like, yeah, it's just Ferrari has figured out the engine and the aero. They might have the best, most balanced car. Mercedes has figured out engine, and they have to figure out the body and the chassis and all that. But Ferrari has, just play your cards right, Ferrari, and you might find a way to get good grades on this, get a good result on this. Yeah, do your homework, Ferrari. It might help you out. So everybody else bad. McLaren did not even want to talk. Everybody is just hanging their head in shame. Again, there was a news inside the race, right after the race, and then a lot of silly seasons crap has happened. Just like a week later, Adrian Newey was stepping down. He's not going away from Aston. He's got a lot of money in there, so he's stepping down from the team principal role. And guess who's replacing him? Mr. Cool Good Boy himself. Out of nowhere, Jonathan Wheatley, the F1 regulations god himself, is replacing the team principal role in the Aston Martin paddock. Aston Martin's a disaster, so they need something. Nobody knows when he's effective. They say effective immediately. That's insanity. He's not coming in for a while. I'm pretty sure not this season. Mattia Binotto will take over all the roles. Apparently, it was not that great in the Audi household. Mattia wanted more control, I guess. He was the technical guy, and Jonathan Wheatley was the corporate side. And it should have worked. McLaren have a same setup, but it just didn't work out. So yeah, Wheatley is out to an insane, toxic, stupid team. What? Aston Martin is an unserious, stupid waste of money, capitalism on display, wasted money on capitalism on display. It's just pointless. It's a stupid team. They should just stop, pack up and go home. They've not figured this shit out. They were amazing as Force India, and I personally am Indian, and this is a big deal for me. That's one of the reasons I started watching F1. They have completely massacred this team. They were extraordinary as a racing point, and then the Strolls have just destroyed it. So Aston Martin as a brand of shit. Strolls are a joke. I have no reason why anybody would go work in this non-serious team. There is no reason. I don't know. I'm not positive about Aston. I really want Alonso to get another podium or do something with his life. I mean, he's like the one person who deserves F1 right now is Alonso, and they're not giving it to him or whatever. So yeah, we'll see when this works out. That was the insanity there. Max did great in the Nürburgring on Saturday. Did well in qualifying, and all his GT stuff was great. He was very happy. That was really nice to see. Old school car, he could really handle it. And then there is some buzz from the McLaren world. A silent war is brewing. So McLaren was not like a very big threat for a while, and now the big man's done it. It's very clear that McLaren's not here to play games anymore. They will find a way to come back up. So the modern F1 looks like it's gonna be Mercedes, McLaren, Red Bull, and Ferrari. These are going to be the four big teams which are going to fight on top. And nobody expected McLaren in there. Everybody expected Mercedes. Everybody expected Ferrari. Everybody expected Red Bull. But nobody expected McLaren. And McLaren is a real threat. So the team principal of McLaren is saying there are rumors that Mercedes wants to push away McLaren. They just don't want them. They're a little bit threatened by them for sure, because that's what they hear. But of course, Toto will never accept. I can't do the accent. He's not going to accept it. Whatever. Gunther Steiner says that's impossible. McLaren's not happy. There are rumors that the Mercedes entire engine division, they just don't want anything to do with McLaren. They're a little squeamish about it. So we got to see what are the engine suppliers of McLaren going to be like. Most likely it's going to be Ferrari, because Fittwasser and McLaren guy, who's the boss? Whatever, the boss of McLaren and Fittwasser, the guy who runs Ferrari, are in good terms. So I think Ferrari might be the next one, which is insane to see an Italian engine in a British car, but whatever. Or it could be Ford, which, what? No, it's just Mercedes, whoever. And there's no chance it's going to be Honda, so forget that. So yeah, McLaren not happy, Mercedes not happy being accused, but we'll see where that goes. Now, I want to talk about another topic which I basically never thought I would see, at least in modern time, which is Hamilton's comeback. So I knew Hamilton was a great legend, but I assumed he was washed. It was over. Old man's just around to just get that, Ferrari money. But I think there is gonna be some battle of legends happening. Hamilton has gotten his vigor back for sure. Hamilton has got his like he needs he's tasted blood and he wants it. And that's what I see. And finally, it's nice to see Leclerc also being given a wonderful car. And it's finally nice to see some adults in the room. I'm a big fan of Max. I love his aggressive style. But the only reason I love it is because I've only seen that style. I've not seen adults in the room, people who are clinical racers. And Leclerc and Hamilton will be the best. I have a feeling they'll be the most clinical, most professional racers ever, and they will be studied in race history. And I think this is going to be a wonderful battle to watch between the two. Even if they not don't win the championship, then Ferrari's not winning the championship. Okay, folks, let's leave that hope aside. It's not going to happen. But it looks like the papaya rules for Ferrari are way better than the papaya rules for McLaren. I cannot wait to see how good these battles are going to be. It's going to be fun. And yeah, it's a throwback to an old time where Ferrari was good. Ferrari's really good. I think Hamilton did something there because Leclerc was in there and nothing came out of it. And the moment Hamilton went in, something came in. That's the thing with world championship winners. These world champions need things to be better, that they have to get it better. And I think Hamilton did something. With his calm, cool guy, Mr. Awesome Black Guy demeanor, he's still done it. He's still found a way to get Ferrari to start thinking of podiums and victories again. Do I dare have hope? I don't know. I'm not a Ferrari guy, so I don't. But these rose-colored glasses of seeing that beautiful red car winning, it does bring me happiness. Hamilton is somebody I feel who has gone through crazy amounts of racism to get up here and bring a dude who's not white. I can clearly see why everybody loves him. It's like you should see these interviews of Hamilton back in the day. He was so nervous. He always felt like the world hates him. It's so amazing to see that little kid who he thought he had to fight and constantly deal with the people who hate him come up and be cherished and loved. It's a beautiful thing. I really hope Hamilton and Leclerc have a good season this season. More power to you. You're not going to win the championship. Let's just face facts. Russell is amazing this season. Russell will be hated and everybody's going to talk shit about him, but he is good. He is going to win it. That's just, it's science sealed and delivered. Okay, don't overthink it. This is not complicated. Red Bulls are going to figure it out. They say Japan's going to look good, but we'll see. It is all about batteries. It's all about being smart and technically. It's a technical race. This season is going to be known for its technical capability, and as expected, somebody like Leclerc, I can clearly see why he adapted to the technical approach and how Hamilton also adapted, because Hamilton famously said, "You give me a car that works 100% of the way, I'll do 90%." It's he will never push more than his capability. If you give me a car which is worth 110, I'll give it 100. His whole thing is clean driving, clean racing, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Yeah, so that's that. That was the entire China race and all the insanity that came with it. We'll see what happens. On to the next one, folks.